Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, this was somewhat of a mixed episode, but I'm going to sit there and get to the best part of this episode. And of course, that is the Cyrus, Mason, and Austin scene. The reason why I like this scene is because we get old school Cyrus, right? We get old school vibe Cyrus coming in there, interrogating Mason, being like, bro, you literally disobeyed. He practically put the fear of God in Mason for disobeying him, for making him break his promise to Austin, because he was like, yo, what did I tell you to do? Right? I gave him my word. And what did you decide to do? You decided to go rogue. He threatened him right in front of his cousin. Listen, you ever do something like that again, it's a wrap. And it was just really great seeing Cyrus back in that element again. First, he was in that element when Austin sat there and had him pinned to the wall with a scalpel. He was like, all right, listen, I gave you enough patience and grace and stuff like that. It's time to get real. So it was really cool to sit there and see that scene. Marty and Michael. I don't understand what Martin was thinking, basically saying to Michael, if you tell the secret on Nina, Nina's gonna go crazy and she's probably gonna terrorize your family. I'm just like, Nina's not Godzilla, okay? I don't really like. I mean, granted, I get that he talks about all the past stuff that she did, but I'm like, are you, is that like supposed to sit there and make him be fearful or something like that? Oh no, don't expose Nina, otherwise she'll wreak havoc on you and your family. Like, she's Nina Reeves, okay? Let's just take it down a couple of notches. So he was ready to go there and tell Sonny and everything. But of course, now he doesn't want. And here's the thing: we all knew that they were going to find a way to sit there and drag this out. We just didn't know how. Right? Sonny is all over the moon. He's all like, "Oh, I'm so happy," and look at the pictures and stuff like that she did. She's doing it for each one of us, and Michael just like he doesn't want to destroy his happiness, which is really stupid because when that secret comes out, all those memories that they're going to sit there and have together is going to be tainted by the fact that she's been lying to him for months now, almost close to a year, give or take. So I'm just like, Michael, you must sit there and tell this man now, this way he can sit there and start to pick up the pieces as opposed to just, well, just, letting it continue. Now, I guess in Michael's own, rational way, he's pretty much like the damage is already done, right? Carly's not in jail. Drew is in jail, and that does suck, but Carly's not in jail. And the deed is already done, regardless. Also, and this is something that annoyed me. Michael was like, oh, Carly keeps in there blaming herself for this whole SEC thing and Drew being in prison. I'm like, well, it is partly her fault. It is partly her fault. And to be honest, she should be sitting there sharing a jail cell next to Drew. Okay? This is the thing about Carly and some of the ways that people are sitting there saying this. Some of the fans, some of the Carly hardcore fans, just like, well, Nina should have kept her mouth shut. She shouldn't have stepped in and said anything. But a crime was committed, though. And people are sitting there acting like, I mean, yeah, granted, they didn't make any money or anything like that. It doesn't matter. Okay, the crime was already made. I mean, people were sitting there trying to act like that didn't matter. Somebody picked up on it, and they should both be in jail. Bottom line. So, Michael's talking about, well, she's not, she keeps blaming herself. Like, well, she kind of is at fault for this. She is partly at fault for this, okay? They both are. But of course, he doesn't say anything because, GH reasons. I don't understand why Portia isn't saying anything to Curtis about Cyrus being released. Because it's not like he's not going to find out anyway. And she tells Laura the same thing. Oh, don't say anything to him about Cyrus being out because he has enough on his plate. Okay, and what do you think is going to wind up happening when he does run into him or he does find out? You know, she's still doing that. Being like coddling him. You know, and I get because even Stella was like, you can't sit there and be with him and like you're walking on eggshells, and she's still doing it. Now, I thought today TJ was going to remember Mason, his voice or whatever, as being one of the persons that kidnapped him. But he didn't. All he said was, this guy's going to give me a bad feeling. Okay? I mean, he's a criminal. He's in jail. I mean, he's a criminal. It's not like he hasn't actually taken or cared for other criminals before. So what makes him so different? Why did it vex him so much? It would have been more interesting if he would have been like, his voice sounds familiar. Yeah, he couldn't see them, but he can hear them. I really did not care about the scenes with Brooklyn, Chase, and Lois. I could always do without Cynthia hearing Chase saying at all points in time. So I am kind of glad that I did come in a little bit later on, come home a little bit later. This way I was able to fast forward through the singing. And, this whole plan about bringing Chase to the house was kind of dumb because it was like Brooklyn already said that she didn't want the company. And so what? Lois is like, oh, well, let me sit there and give Chase to somehow pressure you into signing. I don't really get that. Also, Lucy barging in their house and just really going off on Brooklyn. And the only person that seemed like they were there kind of defending Brooklyn was Chase. And I'm just like, Lois, you wanna handle that? I mean, she's really just like giving it to your daughter. She's just like going in. You want to just step on in? No, you just going to stand in the background. Okay, I guess that makes sense. And that really didn't make sense to me. Really didn't. All she came over there to do was to sign the paper, throw a temper tantrum, and then walk out. Also, Yuri, great job as far as stopping Lucy just walking on in. You are supposed to be the bodyguard, right? So is this going to be your first and your last day here? Because I don't understand. This chick is like 100 and like what, maybe 20 something pounds. What are you doing? I don't know. Maybe that's the thing, keep him around for the cool accent. I have no idea. I'm just like, bro, really? Laura sits there and chastises Scotty, and I'm just like, you do realize who Scotty is, right? Because she chastised him for the fact that, he represented Cyrus. And I'm like, come on, bro, he's about that bag. He's about that bag. Now, one of the things that Laura Smith is saying, well, pretty much, because I was wondering, I was like, how did he pay for his defense if he didn't, he gave away his money. But he pretty much gave away a lot of his money to himself, for reformed prisoners. So that's how he was able to pay, pay Scotty. And I'm like, I'm like, you do realize who he is. He's about that bag, okay? I mean, he's literally called by everyone as far as the ambulance chaser. Not really that much of a difference. I mean, it's just about the degrees of money. And Marty, I felt like Marty was almost about to slip up when he was talking to Nina, and Nina was like, what's going on? She was like, really disappointed with you, whatever. And Martin was sitting there thinking that Nina was coming down on him because he practically. Gave her up. But my whole thing was like, dude, if she actually knew what you did, do you really think that she'd be just slightly perturbed with you? Don't you think she would be sitting there yelling and screaming, practically that her whole life is falling apart pretty much, and she lost her husband and access to her grandkids? Don't you think that she would give you a little bit more energy than that? Like, I'm sorry, but I was just like, what? You practically sold her down the river, and okay, sure. I feel like that's about it. I feel like that's about it for the most part. I can't really think of anything else wound up happening. But as I always sit there and say, if I forgot anything, you know what to do. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows, why and art, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born and Beautiful, and Young and Restless. With that being said, I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video.